What's poppin', everybody? Welcome back to the DST show, HEATWAVE edition. We're going to be going over Miami Heat basketball and what happened around the NBA, and of course some news involving the NFL, possibly for a short amount of time. I don't want to overstay my welcome. I'm going to try to make this a more regular thing to do live on stream so we can get more interaction, but I think recording this would be a lot more better for me, unless you guys continue to support this so we can make this more consistent. The Chicago Bulls win 124-109 against the Indiana Pacers. Orlando just absolutely one-sided loss by like at least 11 points against Cleveland Cavaliers, 103-92. Then we got the Lakers losing 4 straight, this time against the Denver Nuggets, to a 110-99 loss. Atlanta 118 to Detroit in a close game. Very close game. Trae Young dropped 35. Everybody here that was the leading scorer except tied in points for the Houston Rockets and Utah Jazz game averaged around 25 points. Jalen Brunson with a career high as a New York Knick with 27 points in his career. And he came over the opening week of the NBA season without a turnover. Think about that. Damian Lillard dropped 22 points against Miami, and that was the leading scorer. Scotty Barnes led in rebounds with only 10. The only person higher than that was Andre Drummond with 13. Then Jared Allen with 16 total rebounds in the game. John Collins came with 11. Anthony Davis came with 14. Giannis Antetokounmpo led in 2 margins over a 43-point victory, shutout 110-99 against the Brooklyn Nets. I still don't know how long this is going to gel through. Because while the Lakers have a remotely same unit and they keep losing games, Nets are nearly with a completely different unit, getting TJ Warren, transitioning with Royce O'Neal, that I don't think they think is that much of a defensive upgrade over Utah Jazz being probably the worst defensive unit over the last season. And don't know who they're going to have guard Giannis Antetokounmpo over the fast break. Thanks, everybody keeps backstepping. They just weren't good. Knicks win 134 to pick up their isn't this their second or third season victory? This time against the Charlotte Hornets, 134-131. San Antonio Spurs lose in a 12-point margin against the Minnesota Timberwolves as they're making noise, as I believe, with Anthony Edwards dropping 34 points. And we're going to go over currently the Miami Heat against Portland Trail Blazers, where it ended 119-98. Because the Portland Trail Blazers had started off really hot, really hard. I think they picked up wins against the Warriors and the Lakers over the beginning of the season. And this was a home game, and we needed to come off hot because we lost 2 straight against our conference final opponent from the last season, the Chicago Bulls. And then we fell over our second series game against the Toronto Raptors after picking up that win after the fight that occurred thanks to Caleb Martin. And here we are in our second road game of the season after a majority of home games. And I gotta say, we actually performed pretty exceptional. Max Strus had a plus 24 coming out of the bench with 16 total points coming over the offense. And we scored a lot of total offense from turnovers. A lot. Off poor inbound footing, terrible offense. The Blazers were just transition offense. Great pull-up shots from Anthony Simons and Damian Lillard, but it just wasn't enough. The Max, I feel like, who played a major role out of all of this was our tied up and leading scoring. That's 17 total points coming over from Jimmy Butler and Kyle Lowry. Kyle Lowry was exceptional tonight. He went 5 of 7 from the field, while Butler was 0 for 3 from behind the arc. He came with 1 total steal over on the fast break next to Caleb Martin that was just hustling over the tip ball, and they keep doing that. I think they're really predictable over their ball movement, because it's always overhead, chest pass over top of the key, Caleb could just smoke that out and just take that for himself. He even had a major posterizer. Like nobody was going to see that coming. Bam Adebayo transitioned over the offense for a good fast break score. Overhead pass over to Caleb Martin for a fast break. Tyler Hero, I think this is his lowest scoring margin of the season after back-to-back games where he's dropped over 21 points the last time I recorded a Miami Heat game, and that was against the Boston Celtics. He came over with only 14 points, 3 of 8 from behind the arc, a staggering 38% from the field, going 5 of 13. Like, I think Miami just gotta know, like, we can move out the ball as well as possible, as as good as we can transition around the floor, create our own offense. I'm not saying that we don't have good 3-point shooters like Max Strus, Lowry, Anderson, Hero, and we can facilitate pretty decently. I just feel like we don't have enough to stop like second chance points that will play a factor when we're playing against teams that can punish us in the paint if we don't have enough size on us. And I talked about this before. Many other people have talked about this before, because Bam came around with a total of 3 offensive rebounds, tying with the small forward of the team out of Jimmy Butler. And the only person who had more than both of these guys is Caleb Martin. He was hustling around the floor, getting posters. Majority of his scores in the paint came from fast breaks. Good toss. He did a great little Kyle Lowry play, moving the ball around under the foul line, chucks it over to Kyle Lowry so we could shoot from the wing. It was basketball that I love seeing from the Miami Heat that makes them so consistently dominant. Even the time when we lost Jimmy Butler for about, I think we lost him for at least 10 games, and he still put out and that was like the second half of the season where he put out tremendous numbers. Like he was dropping 45, 36 in our game against in our series against Boston. He even did well against Philly, even though they lost Harden. No, not Harden. They lost Joel Embiid until like game 3 or game 4 to game 5. Nikola Jovic needs to improve more on his defense. Other than that, I feel like everybody just played a game that we were set on a team that's not well noted on their perimeter defense or even hustle play, even though Anthony Simons did pretty exceptional. Justice Winslow, this is a game for him. He's a former Miami Heat. He came with scoring 9 off the bench, off second chance scoring. Josh Hart only came with 10. The highest scorer was Damian Lillard. He was really like transparent whenever it came to like pull up. He'll size up. He only had one consistent shot over on Caleb Martin. Anthony Simons had like a good sidestep off the wing as well. Jeremy Grant was just corner 3 or bust, or at least he'll get his own rebound so he can score back into the paint. Like, this team is going to get at least 38 wins and squeeze in the play-in. Knowing at least, how much of a dogfight it is because of the Sacramento Kings. Well, the Minnesota Timberwolves are going to be a mid-seed team. I can see them hitting 5th seed. I don't see them being a power, top 3 seed in the Western Conference. That's ridiculous. They don't have enough depth in the rotation. It's just transparent on trying to be a highlight reel, and they create their own plays unless somebody gets hurt. I feel like one person gets hurt, the Blazers just lose their footing, just like they did back in 2018 when Jimmy Butler got hurt. And they were like a 3rd seed that time. As soon as they lost Jimmy Butler over the injury and he missed like 25 games, they became an 8th seed, getting shut out by the Houston Rockets. Other than Sheldon Sharp, that was amazing. Very good forward. Good hustle. Motioning over to the post. He stopped Bam Adebayo in a few plays. Even though he didn't even get a block. Only Justice Winslow got one. And just 4 total turnovers over Damian Lillard not knowing how to move over the ball or just know whoever's going to pick it off. And literally, Josh Hart was the only person hustling. over transition offense. I don't know what moves they got to make. I don't know. I want to, like, if it was up to me for the Miami Heat portion, I want to see if we can sacrifice a few picks or at least get rid of. I want to keep Dwayne Dedman just for forward depth, but probably Hayward, Highsmith, and I don't want to say Gabe Vincent because he does create offense for our team, but somebody for Mitchell Robinson of the New York Knicks. Just somebody that can shot block and create a little less stress over on our offensive rebounds. And possibly is cheap, even though I know he got that extension. Besides that, really convincing victory to push us now 2-3. We're still, again, below 500, especially in a competitive Eastern Conference as always. Portland's looking dominant, though. This still doesn't make them fall off, even though this is their first loss of the season. In the Utah Jazz, you think after losing Donovan Mitchell that they would have a foot off the competition, but currently they're 4-1. Everybody's playing up to par except, shockingly, the Dallas Mavericks, even though Luka Doncic is a highlight reel. Could possibly make an MVP conversation, and of course, the Memphis Grizzlies that are third seed in the Western Conference. And we obviously know what we can get from Ja Morant. The Lakers are the worst team next to the Sacramento Kings that are 0-3. But the Lakers played one more game than them. And the only team worse than that are the Orlando Magic. And that's the only team. Because everybody else at least has a win in their margin in the Western Conference. Even Eastern Conference. Even the Pistons and the Pacers. Philadelphia 76ers are up in a slow start still, even though they picked up their first victory, I think, last game. And now they're 1-4 over to the season. Even though they've been playing top-tier competition in the start of the season. So we can put it to that margin. Sometimes we always get a slow start. We're only 5 games in total. We're only 2 weeks into the season out of an 82-game series. So obviously there's going to be a slow margin for some of these teams that could be playoff contenders. Because we possibly are not going to see the Chicago Bulls or the Charlotte Hornets still keep the same consistency. Just saying. Besides that, hopefully you guys enjoyed this talk, this recap. And that's it from me. Thanks for watching the DST show. Like, comment, subscribe for more.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you,
we don't care.